So as long as I can remember, I've always been the type of person who wants to go against the grain. I've never liked the conventional way of living life, as in the whole 9 to 5 thing, school, college, university, is all, to me, I've never really gelled with it, never really jived with it. So ever since I can remember, pretty much in college, I've always gone against the grain and done my own thing and carved my own path. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about some different ideas from that, because I know there's a lot of people will be watching this, and even just friends that have approached me locally, telling me that they admire my lifestyle, maybe not so much for the mountain biking side of it, but they just admire the flexibility and freedom that I have to do what I want when I want, work on the projects that I want to do. And this is an opportunity that's available for everyone, which I don't really seem to think people truly understand. I think a lot of people think that we have to follow this conventional path and that's like the only way. But with the internet now and AI and the digital landscape we're living in, making money and making an income online and making an independent income is accessible to 99% of people. And all you need is a clear vision and some step-by-step know-how to do it. Like, it's not anything out of the ordinary. Anybody can pick up and walk away from something they don't like doing, whether that's a job, career, whatever, and move towards something they actually are passionate about, something that gets them out of bed in the morning. Because I don't know about yourself, but there's nothing worse than waking up and feeling like you're not doing what you are intended to do on this planet. So going to a job to do something you don't even like, to build somebody else's dream, to then get like probably a very small paycheck in the grand scale of things, and just not having this fulfillment, versus being able to wake up whenever you want and work on whatever you want throughout the day and live your life on your own terms. So I've got some notes on my screen I'm going to refer to. And the first thing I want to talk about is observations. So look at the masses around you and understand the consequences of mindless action. Now, some of these concepts I'm going to talk about in this video are not my own. I've taken these from other people that I follow and kind of like synthesized them into my own findings and learnings. So looking around you and looking at all the mindless action that's going on, it's almost like that whole concept of being a sheep and just following what the masses are doing. And if you play that out for 40, 50 years of your life, I think there's probably nothing worse than regret. So it may not feel like it now. Like for me, I'm 33 years old. Me saying the most, painful thing is regret. I can imagine that being amplified when I'm like 80 years old, looking back and thinking, Christ, I wish I'd taken that road. I wish I'd made that decision. I wish I'd followed that idea back when I was way younger and had the drive, energy, and need to do that. A lot of people just follow this mindless action for literally 60-70 years of their life. Like I remember I used to work in the Co-op, which is like a supermarket in the UK, when I was like 16. I hated it, but I saw it as a means to earn some money, so I could go and do the things I wanted to do, which was mountain biking. And this was 18 years ago or 17 years ago, and I've been into that exact same supermarket, and there's still people there today who were there when I was working there, still working there. And for some people that is okay. Some people don't want to have to think about what they're doing. They just want to turn up, do what they're told, and that's that. I've never followed that path, and this video is for anyone who feels the same way. Some people just aren't ready or have the desire or know how to live life on their own terms. They're actually secretly where they want to be, and they actually secretly want to be doing that. Even though they'll complain about how much money they're earning, the job they're doing, the lifestyle they're living, the trap they're in, but they probably secretly want to be there, as bad as that sounds. So what I'm saying here is analyze what's going on around you, analyze all this mindless action from other people, even in yourself, and don't just accept surface level realities. Like, take it from me and anybody else you see as somebody who is living a dream lifestyle or doing what they want to do. It is possible for you to literally do whatever it is you want to do and make a very good independent income doing so, on the internet. So let's now move on and talk about your vision for the future. And this is an interesting concept I got from Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek book, which I will leave a link in the description below if you've never read that book. It is the book that changed my life. And don't get misled by the front cover. It's a picture of a guy on a laptop sat on a hammock between 2 palm trees. And it's not got anything to do with working 4 hours a week. I mean, you can quite easily get by and make a ridiculous income in 4 hours work a week. But the whole concept of the book is not about that. And there's a concept in the book that I really, really resonate with and like, and it's called fear setting. So when you're creating a vision for your future, I think a lot of people always focus on the things that they do want. Like, I want this car, I want this nice house, I want this nice family, I want all this stuff. But what they don't do is they don't sit with the other side of that coin, which is, what do I not want? How do I not want to feel? And you could call this an anti-vision, you could call this fear setting, but what Tim Ferriss gets you to do is to look at all the things that you do not want. And sometimes you have to go through this to realize what you want. So for me, working in the Co-op supermarket, I realized that is not how I want to live my life. And that kind of like carves your path out. It helps you carve out a direction and a vision for your future by understanding what you don't want. So working shitty jobs, doing things you don't want to do can sometimes be a blessing in disguise, because they actually secretly tell you, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. That's not what I want to be doing. Whereas if you focus so much on the things you do want, you kind of miss the things you're going to try and avoid. Then you want to look at creating a detailed plan for how you want your life to look. Now, again, this is another concept from Tim Ferriss's book. There's a lot of stuff I love referring to from his book. And he calls this dreamlining. So you can call this what you want, but he essentially gets you to create a very detailed plan of how you want your life to look. This includes how much money you want to earn, how much that breaks down to per day, per month, what type of materialistic things you want, what you want to be doing between the hours when you wake up and go to sleep, everything. Because once you can get super crystal clear, you can start bringing that vision into reality and taking small steps every single day to get into that goal. And this sounds a little bit like out there, and you might think, oh, that's all like, that's all like spiritual and stuff. But, well, maybe it is. But I found that this is what works. You have to have a vision. You have to know what you don't want to get what you want. And you can start working towards that goal. Then there's a concept I got from Dan Coe called disappearing, the metaphor of disappearing. And he says, metaphorically disappear from distractions and negative influences for personal growth. What he's basically saying is, focus your mental energy on constructive and meaningful goals instead of wasteful activities. So again, this is recognizing the things that are sucking time and energy and life away from you, and focusing on the things that are driving you towards that vision and dream lifestyle. For instance, on this channel, I talk a lot about copywriting because that's the path that I took. If you're interested in more learning about copywriting, there is a link in the description to join my copywriting club. Copywriting for me was the thing that accelerated my journey towards realizing, shit, I can create my own independent income online. I can work my own hours. I can have this freedom and flexibility that I want. That was the key that unlocked the door for me. It is different for everybody else, but copywriting for me was the best thing that's ever happened. And it was the easiest thing to go from working a 9-to-5 job and doing something online. So once I realized that, I disappeared and put all my time, energy, and focus into growing that, because that is where I saw the most growth. And I focused a lot of my mental energy on that. I ignored everything else, just went deep into that. Got rid of all distractions, anything that was dragging me away from that. I said no to a lot of things, stopped saying yes to things that were dragging my time and energy away and just sucking my life out of me, and just focus on copywriting and making an income from that and getting really good at that one skill. Which kind of brings me on to my next point of embracing boring fundamentals, but understanding that the boring fundamentals are not boring. So every day I would show up, as in show up to a coffee shop, I would show up to my laptop, I would write every single day. And these were the boring fundamentals. To get better at my skill, my craft of writing copy, I had to show up and get better. And it was boring, but I think that's a trait that is common across anyone who is successful in your eyes. They do boring things, or they repeat things day in, day out, day in, day out. There isn't switching around, doing all these different things. It's just turning up, doing the same thing every day until you reach success. Ask anybody who is successful, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, who's created Amazon, anyone you see as successful have shown up, put the hours in, put the graft in, and that is how you achieve long-term success, through the boring fundamentals. I have a note here. It says, understand that mastery requires consistent effort and practice in seemingly mundane tasks. So seemingly mundane tasks. So what you might see as showing up and doing the same thing over and over again is actually, you could see it as depositing money into your bank account, the bank account of whatever skill you're learning. And you're building up equity in this bank account, to which one day in the future, you will have this massive amount of money or skill or knowledge in this thing, which you then can draw out as you could see it as an investment in your future. This is how I saw it. So you may not see instantaneous results. So like you put X number of hours in, you get X amount of dollars or pounds back or whatever the result is. But in the future, the compounding effect of that is massive. So for me, spending years on honing my craft and copywriting, I'm now at a point where the compound interest of my skill and how much I'm able to charge for what I'm doing is multiplied massively. It's not like a linear growth scale. It's just like starts growing really slowly, and then one day, or sometime in the future, it just goes crazy, and you experience this crazy amounts of growth. And that goes for anything, not just copywriting, any kind of skill growth in anything. I think you then have to understand that doing what you want to do and going down this path and carving out your own thing is a long-term commitment. And it's a lifetime of work, right? So when people ask a question like, how long is it going to take to reach this goal? How long is it going to take to get there? To me, that's a really short-sighted way of looking at things. Because if you're doing what you want to do, it should just be a lifelong commitment through effort, trial, error, everything. It should just be a lifetime commitment. So then the amount of time it takes you to get there shouldn't come into the equation. So you shouldn't really be asking that question. That's a really short way of thinking about it. It's like a scarcity-driven mindset. It's someone who is can't focus for long enough, can't see the long-term gains in things, just wants instantaneous results. And if you think like that, I can almost guarantee you're never going to get ahead. You'll end up just in this cycle of repeating the same things and staying exactly where you are right now. You have to break the mold, get out this cycle, and start thinking about things differently. That's why everyone is always so focused on the mindset side of things. And I didn't really used to understand the whole principle of working on your mindset until it became apparent with things like this. Now, I put so much effort into working on my mindset, working on the way I think about things, and how I use that then to shape my future and achieve goals and do what I want to do. And you should do the same. I think the best way to describe this is by focusing on continuous improvement rather than trying to look for immediate results. And that is kind of like how I would think. And that is how you're going to reach your goal in the long term. So I hope this video was useful. Again, if you are more interested in learning about copywriting, there's a link below to my copywriting club. You can join for free. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this, but that is how I would see getting ahead of 99% of people in the next 6 to 12 months. And when I say getting ahead, I mean just like doing what's true to you. Being able to wake up in the morning and do whatever you want to do whatever you want to work on. That to me is the lifestyle everyone wants. Everyone wants a higher quality of life. That's what we're all aiming for, right? That's the common goal amongst everyone. So I hope this video has given you some encouragement. It's opened your eyes to some different ideas and concepts. And I will see you in the next video.